Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Last Rites, topical show, of course. Why did I say of course? Subscribe if you like. Today we're going to talk about the TV show Maxine, about Maxine Carr of the Soham Murders business with Ian Huntley and all that nasty stuff from back in the day. Now, 20 years ago, right? Just over 20 years ago. Absolutely insane. 2002? Yeah, so if you don't know anything about the Soham Murders, it was two 10-year-old girls that were ultimately murdered by the caretaker of the local school, who was for weeks being interviewed on TV going, I don't know where they are. I hope they come back. And then saying some other weird stuff, like this one would have fought harder. That one would have just let things be to a local journalist. Insane stuff. Turns out he did it. And the series Maxine is about Maxine Carr's fiance, who lied about his whereabouts. So gave him an alibi for about 2 weeks, basically, which obviously diverted the police investigation elsewhere for a little while. But yeah, the series, Scott Reed plays Ian Huntley. I think Gemma Coles plays Maxine. I think it's quite a good. I think it's about a year old, but I don't know. I've just seen it. Did it just come out on Netflix? Who cares? I think it was quite good. Yeah, it's a difficult one because there's lots of like, did she know that he killed him? I don't think so. But then it does transpire later on that she knew they'd come in the house with a nosebleed. I think that was probably him just worming. Like, are you sure you didn't kill him? Yeah, they just come in for a nosebleed. That's why I was cleaning that. But I don't know. I think she was just a bit dopey, to be honest, and in an abusive relationship and all that. But obviously still lied to the police during a bit of a murder investigation. Did like it. The one thing I thought was a little bit off was just the portrayal of Ian Huntley. So nothing against the actor or anything, but in the interviews where you see him really being interviewed by the press, going, I don't know where they are. He's kind of cold anyway, but he's quite direct with what he's saying. The portrayal in the show was he was more of a doofus. It was more just like, oh god, almost like a northern Frank Spencer. Just sort of, oh Maxine, you let the police in again. Oh. Lots of I don't God, yeah, I don't know. I suppose one of them would have put up a fight. I don't know. Well, it wasn't exactly like that, but there was just something about that portrayal of Ian, and it didn't. It seemed quite different to the way he was in the press. I think he did have a bit of a cold look in his eye when he's trying to throw the press and the police off the trail. But in the show, he was more of a dummy. I think more of a calamitous murderer. Oh, Betty, I drowned him in the bar. Not. Yeah, you guys are aware that obviously it's a terrible thing, but my mind just thinks of these silly things sometimes. I think that it is good to have these TV shows because some people complain about having them. We shouldn't even be dramatizing it. It's kind of glorified. I don't know really, because I think a lot of people, one, have forgotten, and two, the people that were around and do remember it, there's a lot they wouldn't have remembered anyway. And it is good to remember that those people are out there, and it's good to remember that Ian Huntley is in prison for a long time, and he's been slashed up and all that. Not enough, I say. And Maxine Carr is living in a seaside town, but clearly loads of journalists know where she lives, and locals know who she is. Got teeth surgery, and I think she served about a couple of years, right? Married with a baby and all that now. And I don't know. Listen, it does seem like she was a bit of a dummy that was in an abusive relationship and just, no matter what, stood up for a boyfriend or fiance. And I don't know. We can't really say that's admirable, can we? Because I think it would have been. I think a lot of people looked at him in interviews and thought that guy's a bit weird, but obviously just got redirected by, I was there, but really she was in Grimsby. What a place to be in as well. Wouldn't you? Would you rather be in a murder house or in Grimsby? I don't know the answer. I've been through Grimsby. I've been to Cleethorpes. I've been through Grimsby. I think it's probably fine. It's just that it's got the word grim in its name. They could have called the show Grim. The Grims. Obviously was a little bit gross. And then it transpired later, obviously Huntley's been super weird in the past with people anyway. That was me just trying to come back from the Grimsby tangent somehow. With my Jim will fix it badge over here that's really that's a Brighton fringe. I haven't got a collection of Jimmy Savile bags. That's the medal that I showed you last week or whatever it was, and that's the Brighton fringe a lanyard that is there. But I'll probably be back at Brighton Fringe next year talking nonsense. Come down. Yeah, this has been far more rambling than I thought. But what did you think about the show? I thought it was good. I thought it was well made. But yeah, it was that portrayal of Huntley that made him more. Oh God, bloody killed him, didn't I? It was a bit off, and I don't know. Is that could be the directing, could be the just the actor. I don't know. Maybe he was told not to be too close to him, but that seems a bit weird for me too. But I thought it was quite good, and they're the big. It's not really a spoiler, but at the end where she's in a secret location, a lifetime of anonymity and all that. Someone goes, "I know who you are, Maxine." It was a bit League of Gentlemen. Like, Maxine, I know who you are. Did you know that he done it? It's like, no comment. Obviously, there's a bit of drama at the end, but it's probably, the press know where she is. It's going to be like Southend or somewhere, isn't it? The press know where she is, and so presumably lots of locals know where she is as well, but they can't legally. I guess someone just tweet about it, but we don't want really vigilantism going on unless it's to Ian Huntley. I think he's the bad guy. But I think she was obviously an idiot that got swept up in it and did an idiotic thing. It was a dumb thing. But maybe, you just never know with people. You just never know that she did know and just kept them out. Who knows, man? I don't know. I said I knew at the beginning of the video. No, I don't. I'm thinking people are weird, aren't they? There you go. What did you think of Maxine, the series that's now on Netflix? I didn't realize it had come out last October in 2022. I thought it was just kind of appearing in the top 10. I don't know whether Netflix just leased it or what, but that's when I was aware of it, and that's when I watched it. I kind of knew they were making it. But yeah, as ever, 7 minutes is far too long to ramble about this. I might do some. It was such a weird case. I remember being in Covent Garden. That was 21 years ago. I remember being in Covent Garden the day they found the bodies of the young girls there, in a pub called the Angel of Crown, which is now a bit of a hipster pub, but it's on the end of one of those little walkways up to Covent Garden between there and sort of Leicester Square. But I remember where I was when they found them, thinking, "Oh man, that's a lot younger and less aware that this kind of mad stuff goes on in the world." And then having a drink with my mate and going, "Yeah, man, to the victims, rest in peace." It was quite a thing, wasn't it? But so many things happen over the years, and so many awful things happen in the world. Some of these things can settle down, which is why I think these kind of programs are good. But I don't think anyone should be defending Maxine. But it is interesting just to this guy just seemed like a piece of shit, and there have been other killers. Didn't the Hammer killer, was it Belfield in London, who was his missus had no idea and all that, but I think she grassed him up in the end because she actually switched on. We'll have to talk about a bit of Belfield at some point then. There we go, it's a little decision. Anyway, it's Sunday. I've pulled a calf muscle. Poor me, I'm dragging this leg around like I've been hatcheted up in the woods. But what actually happened was I pulled a calf muscle running up a ramp under a bridge in Manchester, and then I sort of sat down for a while, then limped home over 10 minutes. There wasn't really that much drama involved. But anyway, give us a subscribe and all that stuff, please, if you would, and let us know what you think of Maxine. And yeah, I might do more stuff around that topic, more dives into it. But yeah, and if I make jokes, this shouldn't have to be said, but if I make jokes, it's just to kind of lighten up the darkness in my brain about these things. So, Betty, I shouldn't have all done it, etc. Have a great weekend, and yeah, keep slashing up Huntley in prison if you're in there.